Cape Peninsula, home to 3.5 million people and around 350 baboons. The baboons live in social groups known as troops, and there are 13 of them in the mountains and coastal areas that surround Cape Town. Up in the mountains, the baboon troops lead a peaceful existence. But when humans and baboons get closer together, it can lead to conflict. It's midday, and a call has come in to the Cape of Good Hope Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, one of 93 SPCAs in South Africa. A large male baboon has been spotted in a quiet suburb. Wildlife Inspector Kira Joshua and Trainee Inspector Liesl Pienaar have been dispatched.
First Avenue retreat heading towards Retreat Road.
Yes, he's moving fast. He is moving very fast.
We're on our way now to a call about a baboon that's dispersed from a troop in Turkey, and he's now on the move again.
Male baboons are said to disperse when they leave the troop they were born into to go in search of another troop to join. Unfortunately, this male's dispersal has led him into a residential area.
So we're on our way now to Retreat, that was where he was last seen. So we're going to see if we can get a visual on him. And once we do, then we're going to contact the vet that's going to be darting him. We'll assist him on that.
Kilo, if you go Station Road according to my map runs down parallel with the railway.
Okay.
Some of the residents aren't happy at the baboon's arrival in their area. And a baboon, on the other hand, is getting stressed at so many people being around.
Kira is next door! We jumped up from that side to this side, so it must be somewhere here.
The important thing right now is just trying to keep a visual on the baboon so we know exactly where he is when the vet comes.
Have you guys got him? Where's he going? Oh, not again.
Kira and Liesl want to get the baboon out of here. The people could try to hurt the baboon, and if he feels threatened, he could attack.
Hey, don't do it, don't scheme!
Oh my word. Please quiet down. Sorry, we need him to stay. I need you to keep quiet and stay away. He is dangerous.
It's in a public area, so the public aren't really understanding what the behavior of baboons, so they just see it as a threat. And they are going to be abusive towards it and try and injure it, but as people do when they don't understand about an animal.
We need him to stay at one spot where we can actually dart him.
The only way to capture a dispersed male, because it's a wild baboon, is to dart it. And you can't use any other method, like the syringe bow or anything, because he's on the move. So that's why you need to use a dart gun.
Kira is moving down again. He's going towards 2nd Avenue again.
Okay, just keep your eye on it, Liesl.
The darting needs a specialist veterinarian. Dr. Hamish Curry is on his way, and the sooner he gets here, the better.
The crowd's not helping much because he's frightened and he just wants to run. And what we ideally want is for him to be calm and still, and then it'll be easier to dart and safer as well.
Oh no, these dogs. Oh no. Is he here?
Dr. Curry's arrived.
Just let him settle if you can.
He'll never come here with these people here.
Yeah.
If we can just try and
Take the people away.
Yeah.
just try and get the people away. Yeah. Have we got any food we can tempt him with?
Okay, brilliant.
What we're trying to do now, because obviously the people and everything is just causing more commotion, we're trying to keep him calm. I mean, he will take some food, so if you have him in a nice position, and he mustn't see the vet as well with the dart gun, because then he's just going to move off. So while he's eating, trying to distract him, then from the other side, the vet darts him. Get him!
It's not an easy shot, and it's missed the target.
The minute he realizes he's being chased, it's almost impossible to get a dart into him. You know, you've got to do it without him having eye contact with you.
Kira is down.
Where is he now? In Retreat Road.
Lowfly Nursery School.
Is he in the nursery school?
He jumped from the roof of that building into the street, jumped into the nursery school, so he's somewhere here again.
He's moved on to another school, but thankfully it's closed today. The police officers have been working hard to keep away the panicking public.
Because he's totally in charge, eh? He's like...
Yeah.
Eh?
We've been following the baboon now for about 2 hours. Well, we asked the cops again to keep everybody away from the scene, so we try and get him calm before they take a shot.
Dart in him, the dart's in his back. Nice position.
Dr. Curry's dart is spot on this time. But the sedative takes a few minutes to take effect, and before it does, the baboon has moved closer to the edge of the roof.
We've got to try and get him off the roof.
If he falls, he's dead.
Liesl, see if we can't get around the school.
This is the furthest. We need to get on the roof. He's about a meter or so from the end here.
Come quickly.
See him?
Oh no, oh no.
An urgent call has come in. All the other inspectors are out in the field, so Chief Inspector Andries Venter has decided to handle the job himself.
We got a call that there's a cat stuck up a initially electricity pole. It turns out to be a telephone pole. It's been stuck since Saturday. It seems to be quite aggressive. Electricity department tried to get it down. They failed, so we'll make our attempt now. You said that you've got a ladder for us.
The person who phoned the SPCA has prepared a ladder for Venter.
Thank you. You have to be careful of getting scratched. You have to be careful of not falling down. I hope there's no live wires up there. If there is, hopefully these gloves would protect me. You can already see that it's very wary of what's going on around it. See, there's a bird nest up there. So it could have been chased by dogs.
The cat's unusual in being pure white. She's showing no sign of the aggression Venter had been warned about.
Okay, she seems to be friendly. You're safe. It's all right. It's all right. Okay. Okay, just take your dog away, please.
Milo, come here.
It's not a feral. It's a friendly cat. It's quite thin. It liked being scratched or rubbed. So it must be our own cat somewhere in the neighborhood. I need you to just sign a form for me that I'm taking the cat in. If people look for it, they need to contact us. All right? Okay.
Well, my son came around early one morning and he told me that the cat has been stuck here like for more than 4 days or whatever. So I'm actually glad that you guys came out to really see that something was done with the cat, because I'm an animal lover myself. And I really appreciate it now. Everybody's got peace of mind and that the cat has been rescued as such.
We'll take it back to the SPCA, to the hospital, let them assess it, give it some TLC, see if anyone comes out to claim it. If not, we'll send it over for possible adoption.
It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Cape Town. SPCA Wildlife Inspector Kira Joshua, Trainee Inspector Liesl Pienaar and Specialist Vet Hamish Curry have spent the last 2 hours trailing a large male baboon that has been moving through a residential suburb.
I need you to keep quiet and stay away. He is dangerous.
They want to protect the baboon and the people and get the animal out of here.
Dart in him.
Oh no.
Come quickly.
If he falls, he's dead.
Dr. Curry has succeeded in darting the baboon,
Is he not?
but it's climbed the roof of a school in the few minutes before the sedative kicks in. Inspector Conchita Milburn has arrived and she's found a ladder.
We're in the courtyard. Conchita got a way in.
Don't fall off the ladder, eh?
Hamish, you don't suppose you have gloves, eh?
I've got gloves.
The sedative is only mild. It won't be long before the baboon starts to come round. If he wakes up now, he'll be panicked and angry.
How many minutes do we have, Hamish?
Eh?
How many minutes do we have?
Just zap him with that. Kira,
Yeah?
just inject him with a bit of this.
Dr. Curry sends up a second dose to buy them a little more time.
How's he doing?
He's okay. I need to he's quite heavy. I won't be able to carry him.
Yeah, that's why we need the rope. Rope. That's all right. Bring that. Bring that.
We're looking for a way now to lower him down from here.
You got those gloves? Kira, maybe come this side. Come on the other side. Okay, we can start sliding him down. Be careful, he's slipping. Okay, let him go down. Lift his head down.
There's somebody at the bottom.
Is there somebody to catch him there? Let him start coming. We need somebody at the bottom to recover him, eh? That's fine.
Okay.
How much further?
Okay.
It's touching.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, rest.
Are you okay?
Right, now we want to get him down here. Just give me a hand and just grab him here. Yeah? And somebody help me with this rope. Yeah. So let him go down again. Yeah. Okay. Slowly, slowly.
They want to take the baboon back into the wild, somewhere away from the city, but they can't do that straight away. First, they have to make sure he's not carrying tuberculosis, and they also want to tag him.
Right, now let's get him into the cage. Yeah. We want to collar this boy. We've got to TB test him.
TB is highly contagious, and they can't risk him spreading the disease. If he has it, the baboon will have to be euthanized. It will take 3 days for the test results to come through. In the meantime, he'll be well looked after at a holding facility in the Tokai Nature Reserve. A call has come into the SPCA about a dog that is sick and suffering. Senior Inspector James Murphy has been dispatched to check it out. There's a small dog in the front yard. He looks healthy enough.
Hey, come on. Hi, good day. From the SPCA. Received a concern about a Rottweiler that stays on this property. It's thin and its teeth are falling out.
No, there's nothing wrong with the dog. He was sick, but he's healing now again.
Can I see him, please?
Murphy is in for a terrible shock when he's led through to the back.
Oh my God. I'm taking this dog. There's a Rottweiler there, and it is skin and bone. It is mangy as anything. It looks terrible. The yard is a mess. It's one of the worst I've seen in a long time.
The dog is old, but that doesn't explain the appalling state he's in.
That dog looks terrible. Why does that one look like that?
I don't know, because...
This is Bransik. Yeah, but you've allowed him to go like that. He looks terrible. It's your responsibility. If you've taken on the responsibility of a dog, I should actually prosecute you for that. I'm really, really not happy with those conditions.
This could be a criminal cruelty case. Murphy's priority for now is to get the dogs out of here.
I can't leave that dog in these conditions. I don't suggest you get another dog, ever.
The little white dog looks healthy, but Murphy feels the owner can clearly not be trusted to care for her animals. He wants her to sign both dogs over to the SPCA, and he accepts her cruelty may not have been intentional.
It is difficult to kind of decide what to do under the circumstances, and looking at her situation, she's kind of had things happen in the family. She's unemployed. And so there's a lot of factors that kind of have played a part in her not being able to sort the dog out. Jeez, this backyard's a jungle. Oh, here we go, big boy. Come on, come boy. Come on, sit. There you go. Come on, hey. This dog is ancient. Hey, oh, careful, okay. Oh, he's a little grumpy too. He's got mange and his teeth are worn down. He's very, very old. I think it's the whole age thing as well, and living in an environment like this, I don't think he even had access to proper shelter. I don't know if this is where he was like resorted to sleeping. Come on.
Murphy will take the dog back to the SPCA hospital to see if anything can be done for him, though he fears the worst. He'll make sure the little white dog doesn't suffer a similar fate.
I can't leave the dog here. I can't leave him here. I'm sorry, I can't leave you with the dog. It's better that we take both dogs. Ons gaan hem wegvat.
The owner's not happy about Murphy's decision, but he's in no doubt that this is the right thing to do.
She's wanting to keep this one because it barks and keeps the place safe, but that's not my concern. I don't think she should keep these dogs at all. Not with a yard that looks like that. I'm going to write you a note now that you need to clean up here, but I don't suggest you get another dog. If you can't look after him properly, you should just sign there. I'm just asking you to sign the form.
About what?
About the dogs. Look, the condition of the dog was at the back here. We've taken the dog and we've taken the other dog. All I'm asking is that she signs this form, and she's obviously now broken down. So maybe you can just sign on her behalf if she's not well. Yeah.
The relative agrees to sign the dogs over.
I can't leave these dogs here. I'm sorry. I think she's kind of had a bit of a tough life, and it's just. This is kind of just a breaking point, us taking her dog away. I can't leave the dog here, and she's in a state, and I think just getting the dogs out is so much better. You got to kind of have sympathy for the people in some instances, have a bit of give and take. Hopefully she can sort this out and sort herself out and her family, and without the responsibility of having to feed these dogs.
The baboon that was darted in the Retreat district has been brought to the Tokai Nature Reserve by Wildlife Inspector Kira Joshua and vet Hamish Curry.
Come.
It's moving. Waking up. You want to give him another jab?
Yeah.
The baboon's now safe from attack by people upset that he was moving through their suburb.
These baboons are constantly trying to move off the mountain to find new troops to spread their genes, and because there's an urban area in between, they often get caught in there, and that's where the tragedy takes place. Be careful he doesn't bite you now, eh? The reason we got him is that he went into the school where there were fewer people. Then he was relaxed, and he wasn't so sort of vigilant and on his guard, and that's how we managed to get him. One of the problems is we've identified tuberculosis, spinal tuberculosis, in the Tokai troop. So it would be irresponsible to move this baboon to another troop because we could spread disease. So what we've done now is we've darted him, we've tuberculosis tested him, and in 72 hours we'll be able to read that test. If it's negative, the baboon will be taken to another nature reserve where there is a shortage of males, and this will improve the genetic diversity of that population as well. Let's hope the TB test's negative, and we should be fine.
It is quite amazing to be so close to such a magnificent animal, especially with baboons, because they primarily say they have a lot of human qualities, and they have human antics as well. It also makes you appreciate them more. Hopefully in 3 days' time we'll see what's the baboon's fate.
You were fantastic today, really. You did a good job.
No, you darted.
No.
Senior Inspector James Murphy has arrived back at the SPCA with the old emaciated dog and the little white dog that lived with it. Veterinarian George Birch will take a look at the one Murphy's most concerned about.
So basically this is what a chronic skin condition is looking like. You can see the hair loss, the thickening of the skin, get this dark, thickened skin, all this oozing and crusting. Also here on the face. Demodectic mange has a prevalence for the eyes and the ears, also on the hock and the elbow. So this is probably demodectic mange, but it's going on for a while. You see this dog is really emaciated, it's depressed, and the skin is just looking terrible. When a condition like has gone on like this, you know, that any kind of owner would notice something is wrong. We see dogs that looks much better than this when the mange has started and owners are not sure and they come to us and they ask, you know, what's going on, can we do something? But when it's gone on this long, and I mean this is months, then obviously the owner doesn't care. So an animal like this, unfortunately, needs to be put to sleep. We can't find a home for a dog like this.
The little white dog appears healthy. He'll get a thorough checkup later as a first step towards finding a caring new owner for him. Inspector Wilber Khenkebe is responding to a report of a neglected horse. He's been told it's emaciated to the point of starvation.
We are here for a very thin horse that might be underfed or maybe sick. You need to see the horse now. We're just gonna see, we're not taking him.
The young man leads Wilber out through a yard full of scrap and building materials. At the end of it is a small stable and a pony. It seems the report was accurate.
This horse is very thin.
Because he was thinner than that.
I think we must take it in. I'll organize a box and we can take it to the SPCA so they can treat it. Can't stay like this. What are you doing with this horse? Is it a cart horse or what is it for? Are you keeping it for what?
My father bought it for my sister when she was small. Now he's been here over 16 years now.
16 years?
Yeah.
How long has he been so thin?
November, began to get thin, like this.
I just want to know why you don't clean up. You see, this place is also very dirty here. I mean, there's so many things lying around, which can even hurt the horse when he goes out here. But why don't you put straw here?
Nou, hier straw is in de car. Dat sasels.
Ja, maar je moet het hier ingooien voor de bedding.
Wilber's not happy with the pony's health or his living conditions.
The state of this horse is not good. The bedding, there's no bedding, and the place is dirty. I'm coming to speak to the house owner now to see that if we can let me take the horse in for treatment.
The young man's father doesn't want Wilber to take the pony. One way or another, Wilber wants to ensure the pony is seen by a vet.
You don't want us to take it, then we're gonna have to give you a warning to say you must take it to a private vet. You can't say you can't take it, you must take it. If you haven't taken it within the period of time we're given, then we're gonna have to confiscate it, take it by force, and then prosecute you. I've just given them now the 24-hour warning note to take the horse in because they don't want us to fetch the horse. They are sort of worried about the cost that they will be charged for bringing in the horse. But it would be best for them if we could bring it in by ourselves.
Wilber will need to see proof that the pony has been taken to a vet within 24 hours. If he doesn't get that, he'll be back to seize the pony. Whatever happens, he doesn't want the pony to stay as it is. Meanwhile, in the hospital, vet Miles Penfold is ready to take a look at the white cat Chief Inspector Fenter rescued from the top of a telephone pole.
Here we go, my boy. Okay, we're just going to be doing a basic clinical on this cat. First thing we can notice is that this is a really friendly cat. Okay, it's not a typical feral stray cat that would be hunched up at the back of the cage and really scared. So most likely this cat is owned. And we definitely hope that the owners are going to come forward and claim their cat. Come on. If we look at it, its general condition, it's not in bad nick. I mean, this is obviously an owned cat. It's not thin. Its coat is quite nice and shiny. It's not dirty. It's a really nice, friendly cat. The first major thing that we have a look at that jumps out at you is, well, the ears are pretty scabby, and with a white cat like this, especially here in South Africa with the sun, is a very typical thing we'll see is just sunburn. And given enough sunburn and time, eventually what happens is we can get cancer forming in these ears. Typically when they start going cancerous, we really will start losing tips of the ears. So yeah, our non-pigmented white animals suffer a bit down this side of the globe.
The cat will go into the SPCA cattery. They'll wait for the owners to claim her, and they'll be advising them to keep her indoors most of the time, away from telephone poles and out of the sun. There's been an unexpected development in the case of the emaciated pony that Inspector Wilber Khenkebe saw yesterday. The owners have changed their mind about letting the SPCA vet see the pony, and they've brought it in to Grassy Park. Stable master Tex Davey has been taking a look at the horse.
As you can see, he's emaciated. He's in shocking condition. He hasn't been fed properly for a long time. He has no nutrition. He's actually bones. He's got to be in the region, I would estimate, about 18 to 20 years of age. It's amazing how these animals can actually stand up to this, because this is abuse as far as I'm concerned, near starvation. They were very reluctant to bring this pony in, saying that the pony only recently stopped eating and so on, which is normally the story we get in these cases, typical. My experience tells me that this pony's been emaciated for a very long time. This is basic starvation. It's ignorance in a sense, because people want these ponies, they all look nice and cute, and this is the end result, because they don't have the know-how or the means to look after them. And there's no excuse for this.
The pony is old and very sick. Undernourishment over a period of time can cause permanent damage.
I'd like to see this pony being signed over to us. We would then make a decision as to, can we home him? Is it viable to home him? Give him to somebody that's going to care for him. But unfortunately, I have my doubts, because he is an aged fella and he doesn't have that many years. And for him to recover, there's no guarantees that he will.
The pony's future will be given very careful consideration, and they'll also decide what should be done about the owners. SPCA Wildlife Inspector Kira Joshua and Trainee Inspector Liesl Pienaar can't resist paying a visit to the baboon that was captured after he moved into a Cape Town suburb. The baboon has been kept in a cage for 2 days now, pending the results of tests for tuberculosis.
It's not ideal that he's kept in captivity. I mean, nobody likes to see any wildlife in captivity. It is necessary for the moment, so you can actually observe him for the TB testing, see what the results would be. It doesn't seem to be stressed out, and that's what we have to observe as well. As you can see, he seems to be quite lax at the moment. So tomorrow evening, we'll have a final outcome if he's positive or negative. And if it's positive, it would ultimately mean that we need to have him euthanized, unfortunately. If he tests negative, which we hope for, on Friday we'll be Tartrate and a radio collar should be put on him before he's released.
They can't risk spreading tuberculosis, so now all depends on those test results. It's going to be an anxious 24 hours. Back at the SPCA, vet George Birch has been taking a look at the little white dog that Senior Inspector James Murphy brought in. They've named him Jake, and he's much better off than the emaciated and mange-ridden dog that he lived with.
It's quite strange that the owner would, I don't know, make sure that the one looks like this, and while the other one is really bad. This one feels in quite good form. You can see the coat is quite thick. There's quite a lot of tissue on the bones. Clinically, this dog looks in really good condition. I think all this dog probably would need is, you know, a wash and a bit of a brushing, and then some deworming and some good food. So basically, this animal like this you would send to kennels and see if you can't get a new home for it.
Jake seems a little shy, and that could be a problem in finding him a new home. The next step will be to have his temperament assessed before deciding whether he's a suitable candidate for adoption. The next day brings rain and a depressing call to the SPCA. A horse has fallen victim to what sounds like a tragic accident. Trainee Inspector Emma Linsell is on her way to meet up with Senior Inspector James Murphy.
We're heading to a case. We had a report of a horse that was electrocuted in an electric fence last night, so we're just going to go and see exactly what happened, ascertain the facts. Another inspector are on the scene already, and we're going to meet them there.
When they arrive, it becomes apparent that there was more to this accident than Emma first thought. Thieves stealing copper from electrical cables have been responsible for the horse's death.
We put them in and they ran, and the next thing, what did he do, George? He just went down.
The horse was called Brutus and was a grand champion in dressage events.
Apparently, late last night, some guys came in here and they stole the electrical cables, and they left the wires lying on the ground here, and the horses were released in here, and this horse stepped on the cables and got electrocuted and died due to a heart attack, and the owner's very upset, and this is, you know, another reason why they need to put a stop to these cable thefts.
How would they have got off the pole? This is the first time I've ever seen a case like this. It's a terrible case to come to. The gentleman said it was quick, thankfully.
Yes, it happened that morning about 9:15. We just let the horses loose in the paddock, and they ran up the one side, and when the one horse came down, he obviously stood on the cable and was electrocuted. His legs buckled underneath him and he just fell down.
The theft of copper from cables has become an increasing problem in South Africa. It's estimated the thefts cost the South African economy billions of rand, as electricity supplies are disrupted. Brutus's death is a more personal tragedy.
Unless they started down there.
You see how the cables are hanging. This one's lying here, that one's going all the way along there, and then the cable from that pole is coming down, which is the one the horse stood on. Pretty harsh way to die. All for copper, just for a few rands to put into their pocket. It's put everybody out of electricity and put kids' lives in danger and things like that. It's just total senseless act.
The police will investigate the theft. All the SPCA can do is raise awareness of the risks these crimes pose to people and animals.
We can only advise the public that this has taken place, and that just to beware.
Hopefully we can get a media article out and highlight this issue, and hopefully the authorities will also deal with this. We can, you know, get the police involved and try and really push this issue.
SPCA volunteer Malcolm Rhodes has already started working with Jake.
Hello, Jake.
The dog rescued by Senior Inspector Murphy. Jake's not very responsive to people, and that could hamper his chances of getting adopted. Malcolm hopes to put that right.
What I'm going to be doing is the usual training that we do with the dogs to make them a bit more adoptable, more easily adoptable and more people-friendly. And we use treats to enable us to reinforce the behavior that we want, and we ignore behavior that we don't want. There's no reprimands, and there's no setting up the dog for failure, like saying sit, sit, when it clearly doesn't know how to. So it's calmed down now. There we go. Come, Jake, let's go. He walked well on the leash, but he wasn't at all what I could say people-friendly. It looked like he'd been a guard dog outside on his own, which I think was the case, and he hadn't spent a lot of time with people, so he tended to ignore people. He's changed considerably now because he's far more happy to see people. Gives him a little bit of freedom. Yes. The moment he sits down, we say yes to reinforce the good action and give them the treat immediately. And if we do that long enough, it sinks in and it becomes natural. Yes. But he's still very independent. We need to work on him a lot. Hey, there's a treat. That's what you can get. I work with a number of other volunteers, and we work with all the dogs in the adoption kennels. We would obviously like all the dogs to be able to sit, walk properly on a leash, not to jump up. Fortunately, he's not doing that, so at least that's one problem solved. But he's still wandering around on his own at the moment, sniffing, exploring the area, and not coming to me as often as I would like, as I would prefer. He's still a very independent dog. So there's still some work to be done with him, which we're going to be doing over the course of the next couple of weeks.
It might take some time, but Malcolm's determined Jake should be given every chance of finding a new owner.
Good dog.
Yes. Hey.
Nearby, in the horse care unit, the emaciated horse rescued by Inspector Wilber Khenkebe has had a thorough examination by SPCA vet Miles Penfold. Now Miles, Wilber and stable master Tex Davey have to decide what can be done for it. The owners have also been to see them and have explained their situation.
I would say there was a bit of ignorance coupled with family problems as well. The pony is old, 20 years plus, as you can see. There's a digestive problem there. They didn't know, hence the ignorance.
From a veterinary perspective here, I can't see that we're ever going to get any condition back on this horse, really at the end of its lifespan now. And I really feel that the kindest thing is going to be for us to actually to euthanize, and that would be my recommendation. The teeth are really worn down and really starting to find them battling to actually chew their food. And unfortunately, everything just gets to a place where if you can't chew your food and get it all down, well, you're going to not get to all your energy requirements, and then you'll end up with what you're seeing over here, which is just a total loss in body mass. It definitely didn't look malicious, and I'm very glad that the owners have actually bothered to bring this pony through for us. And but having made an assessment, there's just no ways that we can possibly get condition back on this pony. Probably be left to their own devices with the best care and attention. They might pass away in the next number of months anyway.
It's a difficult decision, but they're all agreed. In this case, euthanasia is the only way to prevent further suffering. Senior Inspector James Murphy is in a small town east of Cape Town. He's been told a dog has been left behind when a family moved home.
Yay! It's not locked. There's a light on. House is empty, what I can see. Hey, how's you? Hey, there's a big boy. Oh, you big boy. Hey, how are you doing otherwise? You look okay. Okay, let's go see what the neighbour has to say.
The neighbour says he's been feeding the dog and giving it water because no one else has been around.
I don't know what the arrangement she made with the dog now. See, there's new owners, but they're not here at all. It's about 2 weeks already, and nobody actually feeds this dog. And apparently it's not her dog. It was her son-in-law.
And where's he now?
Yeah, I don't know where he is.
It is cruelty. It's abandonment. I mean, the dog hasn't got food, it hasn't got water. Anything could happen to the dog, and there's nobody to actually look after it. Thank goodness this neighbour's, attentive enough to actually give us a call. Let's go see, come.
Murphy takes a closer look to try to work out what's going on.
Gosh, still a whole pile of stuff here. I know who that belongs to. Otherwise, empty.
James decides the dog's life could be in danger, left here alone.
Come on. There's no water, there's no kennel, there's no bowls or anything like that to show that the dog's actually getting food. There's nothing, so it's very worrying. And the neighbour said he has given it some food, so maybe that has sustained it for the while that it's been here. Maybe the people that are actually painting are just kind of throwing it some scraps. You say nobody else has been here?
Not here, not now.
Because I see there's a paint.
Yes, but they've been here yesterday morning for about half an hour. I think they just come to put stuff in and they left again.
Is it? Nobody even fed the dog?
Not what
Because there's not a bowl, there's not a kennel, there's nothing in the back there. There's all the rubbish there, but I mean, there's nothing for the dog. I'm going to write a note and take the dog, and we'll see what these people come up with and whether anybody responds within 7 days. Come on, let's go. The people can be prosecuted for what they've done here to this dog. It's all a case of just if we can find them, you know. He's got a really nice temperament and he seems to know about walkies, so it makes it a lot easier to handle the dog.
James will notify the police, and the owners will have the chance to claim the dog. But it's looking likely that this dog will need a new home. The dog abandoned in Kraaifontein has been at the SPCA for a week now, and no one has come forward to claim him. It's time for behaviour expert Candice de Villiers to see if he's a suitable candidate for adoption. Candice will be assisted by Wilber Khenkebe.
We're just going to be doing a behavioural assessment on this dog. He's been abandoned, and just to see which family he will fit into, what type of dog and what type of personality he is as well. The first thing we're looking for is, does he show any attention to the humans? Is he interested in us? Does he want affection? Does he not want affection? This is called the safe hug. It's to see if the dog can handle the pressure, can handle a child hugging him, coming close to him, being in his space, and he's tolerating it quite well. The next thing we're going to be doing is the food bowl, to just see if he will handle a young child sticking their heads and their hands in there. And we're once again going to be using the plastic hand to stick in there and see if the dog will tolerate his food being fiddled with while he's busy eating. He's allowing it, he's not appreciating it, but he's allowing it. He's eating a little bit faster, but there's no sign of warning or anything like this at the moment with him. He would be good with children. I wouldn't advise him going to a family with very young children. I'd advise him to go to a family with kids of about 5, 7 and upwards. He's very friendly, he's quite happy with being touched and being loved. He's quite affectionate, quite a sweet dog.
Oh my word.
Hey, don't do it, don't skin.
It's been 3 days since a large male baboon left his troop and moved into a residential suburb of Cape Town, attracting a lot of attention.
Stay away, he is dangerous.
Wildlife Inspector Kira Joshua feared for the baboon's safety.
They just see it as a threat, and they are going to be abusive towards it, try and injure it.
Dart in him.
Eventually, the baboon was darted, sedated, and taken to a place of safety. But before he could be released back into the wild, they had to check whether he was carrying tuberculosis. Now it's the moment of truth. Dr. Hamish Curry has the results of the TB tests, which will determine whether he can be released or whether he'll have to be euthanized. Dr. Curry's given Kira the news.
Okay, today's the third day, and test is negative, so that's a good sign. We are going to now sedate him again, and then we're going to go off to the reserve to release him. So today is a good day.
Just everybody back off and don't look at him.
We're going to syringe pole him now, because he seems to be pretty tactile, as in we can get the pole right there. He's not going to move it away as most other primates would. sedation is necessary for not only for the journey, sedation is also necessary for the fact that we're going to need to tag him as well. So it's easy to identify him from the other baboons.
Esme Beamish from the University of Cape Town's Baboon Research Unit is taking advantage of the opportunity to gather some data.
14.2. What we try and do is when we get access to an animal is to get any kind of information that we can. So we do a tissue sample for genetics and then just do these basic morphometric measurements. But they do help in terms of understanding the size of the neck, and if we radio collar them, which is what we are doing, because the collars have to be made to fit a certain age.
They'll be tracking the baboon's movements. The yellow tag will help them quickly spot him when he's joined a troop. They have decided to release the baboon on the Cape of Good Hope Peninsula in a national park well away from any built-up areas.
This is a good resite for the baboon. It's basically between two troops at the moment, so you can make a choice about which one he could be joining. We've waited quite a while now for him to wake up. We can't release him when he's still a bit woozy, because even if he stumbles out here still woozy, he could be attacked by one of the other baboons.
I think we should all back off, eh?
Yeah.
He's out.
Esme Beamish is confident that he'll have a better chance out here than when he left his original troop in Tokai.
What we've got in the Cape Peninsula is there are 10 troops south of Fishhook, and there's one troop in Tokai, which is isolated and by urbanisation. Now those males that disperse, these young males, really have nowhere to go, and consequently they often go off across the Cape Flats and look at the Helderberg Mountains and think, let's get there, which is what he did. So what we've done is taken him to an area where the troops are short of males, and he's got a really good chance of joining a troop.
He's just getting a bit of a view of his territory right now.
He has to get accepted into a troop. He can't just walk in there and bash his way in. You know, the females won't like that. And if there's a dominant male there, they'll take him, you know, they'll beat him up. So he's got to feel his way into a troop and get accepted.
Ideal scenario right now, if he joins up with a troop, and like any fairy tale, he lives happily ever after.